You started a CPG brand, you're starting to get some revenue, okay, investors are looking at you, and you're like, okay, I DIY'd my website, it got me to this point, my branding, made it on a Canva, I think it's time for me to hire that agency that's going to charge me $50,000. Wrong. And honestly, this is one of the most expensive mindsets that founders tend to have when they are building and launching a CPG brand. Founders believe this is what's going to take my brand to the next level. That this move is magically going to make them competitive with the legacy brands. But your girl is here to bust that myth, okay? Hello, my name is Daji. I'm a website copywriter and brand messaging strategist for CPG brands, okay? And as a freelance copywriter that specializes in CPG brands, one of the most common things, in setbacks, one of the most common realizations that I, seem to get from clients is, wow, I didn't know one person could even do all that. I didn't know that that was possible to take this from this. And I'm not gonna hold you, that reaction makes sense because what you mostly see are the agencies that are building these major CPG brands. Let's talk about what working with an agency actually looks like, okay? Working with an agency is no easy task. Okay? So working with an agency is not as simple as you may think. It's not, hey, let me put my brand into the hands of this big agency that has all of the solutions to my problems and I could just sit back and relax. No. Working with a team, which it sounds like it would be easier in theory, but here's where it can get a little tricky. There's multiple opinions, multiple approval timelines, lots of internal feedback. It's just a lot of ways for miscommunication to happen. And you're not even the first person to know about these things. Don't get it twisted. That's not always a bad thing. It definitely depends on what you need as a founder, but let's talk about it. If you're somebody that's watching this video, you likely aren't a brand that has a major team. So it makes more sense for you to work with people that can be a bit more intimate, where the relationships that you have with the people that are working on your brand, it could be a bit closer to that one-on-one experience. Something that could have taken 2 days to communicate could have taken 2 weeks because you got to go down the ladder of different people to get it approved. As an early stage founder of a brand, you have working on you're working on operations, marketing, sales, inventory, product. So managing an agency, that itself could be its own job that you probably just aren't in the space to deal with. Now, when you compare that to working with a freelancer like myself, you don't run into problems like that. It's much simpler. You're communicating with one human being, maybe two if they have a little team on themselves to help them move a project, maybe. That one person is the expert. They are the decision maker. They are the ones that moving that needle and moving that project from start to finish. It is all on that one person. So you don't really have the ideas of multiple people. This person more so wants the results that you want. You guys are more likely going to be aligned on the end result than if multiple people had opinions, okay? This person is not just wanting to build product for their portfolio and, get all these major awards. They want their portfolio to be filled with brands that have a meaning to them. Yeah, they're getting paid. It's a for-profit business, hello. But at the end of the day, a freelancer's relationship with their work is a bit more intimate and passion-backed. And again, you might have the misconception, well, an individual person working on my brand is just not going to have the scale or the expertise. I need to hire that brand that's worked with this brand that got acquired for hundreds of millions of dollars. But why do you think that's so? You are probably like the other founders, like I mentioned before, who only have heard of those big name agencies. You've only heard of the brands that hired the agency. You didn't hear about the other brands that hired a small agency or a small freelancer or an artist like the Fishwife, like that Good Girl. And again, freelancers specifically structure their businesses to be able to handle a small amount of projects at one time. So if they are working on your brand, they're focusing on that probably solely, maybe juggling 2 or other projects at that time. So you don't have to worry about, okay, they're moving from project to project, brand to brand, maybe missing things in between, maybe not dedicating their all time because they're just trying to get stuff out the way. They are dedicated to your brand. They can make fast decisions, they can execute, they can pivot faster. It's just a much more seamless process when you don't have 7 other clients in your work log. So let's break it back. Here's something you're probably overlooking. Agencies are freelancers are meant to serve founders in a specific niche. So if you hire that freelancer for your CPG brand, you're hiring a specialist, somebody that is dedicated to your type of industry versus an agency that has dipped their hands in a little bit of everything. This person likely lives your category every single day. They are staying up to the trends. They're building relationships with emerging founders and probably other emerging entrepreneurs in that industry that they could probably help put you on to help better build your business. Now, another thing you're probably worrying about is the price difference of an agency and a freelancer. I get it. You probably think a freelancer being cheaper means that the work itself is going to be cheaper. The quality of it is not going to be as great. But here's where you're wrong. An agency has overhead. They have salaries of very talented and senior level employees. They have operations. So their price isn't just about the work that you're being paid, but running an entire agency to be profitable and stay afloat. While obviously a freelancer, that is their salary as well, they don't have the extremely high operations cost of an agency. So the cheaper price is more so that they don't need as much to move the needle, to move your product, and not so much that the quality of the work is horrendous compared to an agency. But let me be clear, agencies are not bad. They do serve a purpose and they are absolutely amazing. But is it the right decision for you because you actually truly believe the specific agency you have in mind is the only possibility to get your brand to where you want it to be? Or is that the only thing that you are aware of? Are you not aware of other freelancers? Have you taken the time to discover freelancers that are also building these amazing CPG brands? So instead of asking yourself, should I hire an agency or should I hire a freelancer? Ask yourself this: who is the better person for the job? Which person, the freelancer or the agency, which one is going to give me the results I need for my business and where I see my brand going? For this stage of my business and the stages going forward, who is going to be the best person for it? Because the right expert, the right vibe will always outperform the flashiness of the big name on your brand. And at the end of the day, you just need somebody that understands how CPG works, how your product and your industry is growing and moving forward. And that is so much easier to realize with an individual person. So before you overspend, really take some time to understand why you are leaning toward that big agency.